Hey, what's up, YouTube University? Welcome to the first episode of 10 Minutes, more or less. I am 24 minutes behind. I just had two back to back meetings, had to go feed a cat. I did not take into consideration everything, but we are building the plane as we are flying it, in the great words of my friend Kason. Um, so yeah, welcome to the first episode of 10 minutes, more or less. This is a show where for 10 minutes out of my day, I take the time to share wins, losses with you, take on quick projects. This is really just me finding time to share my brain with you all out there. I did not trigger my lower thirds. My name is Chris Fernandez. You can follow me at Copy and Steal. Um, at this show is a part of How to Copy and Steal and the Copy and Steal YouTube channel. So that being in vain, like everything around this show will be surrounded around like putting together not even putting together, it's taking ideas that exist separately, and transforming them and making them your own. And with that said, for this 10 minutes or less, this first session, I wanted to take on the task of creating a logo for 10 minutes or less. So let's see if I can whip something up in 10 minutes, more or less. And yeah, let's put some time on the clock as of now. Boom. And let's get started. All right. So I think a good place to start is understanding what my brand already looks like, in relation to Copy and Steal and a live studio. This 10 minutes more or less show is going to be a part of that brand. So that's why I was mentioning it before. Like it has, like I already have a look and feel and a style guide really established for this brand. So creating this logo should be easier than most. I'm not going to be trying to create anything new from scratch. I'm not going to be trying to create any crazy fancy graphics. I would like for this to just be like a type based logo, similar to the way I treated Copy and Steal. So let me just share my screen really quickly. Let's boom here and make sure you guys can still follow me. Oh, that's not what we wanted to see. This is what we wanted to see. So, um, these are some of the existing brand elements that I have. Let's take you to the Alive Studio webpage here. So we have our red. The font that I use for everything is Product Sans, which is a Google-based font. Our colors are red, white, and black. I tend to use blue and green here and there sparingly. Um, Recently I just changed over the Copy and Steal logo look and feel over to the Alive Studio look and feel. And this is really what I mean by like just a type treatment logo. I've had different workings around this where like this was a graphic and it was more like a logo mark, but I've simplified it and made it more legible so that it easily reads Copy and Steal. So taking these things into consideration, this is what I'm trying to achieve in terms of a look and feel. And I've already started to put together a Figma doc here with all of the assets that I have. Don't judge me for my horrible organized Figma files. I am a Figma user. I do not use Adobe Suite products. I only use them when I need to use them. Nothing against Adobe. It's easier for me to work in other tools. It's easier for me to wrap my head around things. Sometimes Adobe can be a little complex. All right. So, yeah, just looking at this here. This is the feel and look that I'm going for. I'm gonna go ahead over here and just type out what we're looking for. So this is 10 minutes more or less. I used to have a workaround, not a workaround. What's the word I'm looking for? I had this idea for a type-based logo where I had these ideas of like how can I visually illustrate the words more or less, and this is usually how I like to start when creating logos. I like to start from like a top-down view perspective of just like word listing and kind of like almost like word vomiting ideas and how these things can be visually illustrated. So let's start with what we have here. So I've got my camera angle here. All right. Awesome. And let's see. So if it's 10 minutes more or less, we have the concept of time. So how do we keep the concept of time? Usually with clocks. We have sands of time. I usually like to draw like little things here. This could be an alarm clock. That's a horrible alarm clock there. Let's see the sands of time here. I like the dripping of the sands there. What else? More or less can be considered as like more can be considered like a plus sign. What else symbolizes more? Another tool that I like to use often is I like to go to a website called the Noun Project. And I am going to take you guys with me over here to the Noun Project. This is a tool that I like to use to find really quick inspiration for like graphics and how to illustrate complex things. It's literally just a resource where people can download graphics via vectors or PNGs, and the goal is to either, if you're going to use it, to basically, I think you have to like in your video or in your thing, you need to, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to give credit to the artist, or you can just use it as inspiration, which I tend to do. And usually I'll bring these graphics in and I'll rework them and remake them myself, but I use this as like a jumping board to gather ideas. So one thing that we were thinking was like the words more. Like, let's see what happens when we type in the word more. Okay, so we get these three dots. And I think this is more a symptom of us living in a newer world where we live in a world of technology. So people assume the word more, I'm looking for like a menu or like a hamburger menu or something like that. Okay. The plus, okay. More or less the same stuff. Let's see. Oh, I do like this. Where was I? Just this is interesting. The whole plus popping out of the square. There could be something there. I am going to make sure that I capture that. All righty. Let's go back to the website. Let's type in less here and see what happens. Okay, minus as well. All the things we're expecting to see. All right, I'm just... Okay. Let me type in the word minutes. Let's see what happens when we type in the word minutes and see what inspiration we get here. Okay, time, click the dotted line. I think that shows a nice symbol of passing of time. Okay. All right. So all these are graphics and icons. And while I want this to be a type-based logo, I'm definitely open to like including smaller, lightweight graphics that aren't like hand-drawn, like intricate logos or things of that sort. If it's just something like quick, like a little plus or minus, I don't mind adding that as a supplement to a logo-based graphic. So let's take things back to Figma. Actually, scratch that. Let's take things back to the whiteboard here. So, one thing I typed up a couple of days ago when I was naming a file structure for 10 minutes more or less, and I drew this thing where I didn't want to write out the words more or less, so I just created symbols for the words more or less, and it winded up looking something like this, more slash less. And then as I was looking at this, I kept on seeing like a face in there. Um, so there's something here. And I think I might want to make this as a part of my text-based logo mark. So if I had to like sketch up something, I'm thinking of like, let me see, something. I got my handy dandy rag. um, Thinking of something like, let me see, so we have 10 minutes, and then let me see, plus slash minus. Thinking of if I can somehow encompass this into a shape or, play around with this, I feel like this is where I'm heading with this logo mark. So let's play around with this idea for the 47 seconds. Maybe this was a little ambitious. Again, that's why I said more or less, because it could be more than just 10 minutes. Let's just say we've got the idea in 10 minutes. Now we're going to spend the next 10 minutes executing or trying to execute. So I am going to switch over to Figma. We've got this 10 minutes more or less. All right, let's re-put some time on the calendar. Let's re-put some time on the clock over here. I'm gonna, boop, there we go. Back at 10. And let's do this. All right, so I am going to take this, come down here. When I had my sketch, I kind of stacked them. So it was 10. I would keep them in the same text box, but I want to be able to manipulate them and mess with the spacing without having to deal with any of these menus here. So I am going to come in here. Let's do 10 minutes. 10 min. Maybe that's all I need. 10 min. Let's see. Do people reference minutes as min? I feel like they do. Okay. So let's come over here and let's do this. What is it? Plus slash. And then we will do the less. And boom. Okay. Interesting. Alrighty. So I feel like there is something here. Let me take these out here. Let me zoom in here. So usually sometimes what I like to do is I will press a Command E, and what that does is it expands this so that it's more, it's a full shape. So when I press that, now there's points here. I can manipulate things, and that is a shape. So I'm going to do that with everything here so I can play with it a little more. Command E. So I like this graphic, but there's something happening here where these things aren't aligned, and that's because it was a text before. But now that they are shapes, I can align them. I can't align them because they're all sort of part of one shape. So what I need to do is I need to break them apart into their separate shapes. So I'm going to highlight all this, Command X, double click out, Command V. All right, that's one of them. I'm going to highlight all this. Command X, double click, Command V. Highlight all this. Press this, and I will repeat the magic. Oh, that one went wrong. So I did not highlight all of that stroke there. So sometimes you have those little problems, but you just need to come in and make sure you highlight the whole entire thing. Command X, and then make sure you double click out, Command V. So now all these things are still together. They're all where they were before. They're just not a part of the same shape anymore. Last one, going to remove the plus here. Command X, come in here, Command V. Hey, there we go. All right, so now this is all separate. I can group these together so they're still, I can move them. And if I want to make a duplicate, I'll just click and drag off while holding the Option key. I do not know what that is for my PC users. Okay, so I want these to all be aligned within the center so that it kind of looks a little more visually pleasing. So I'm going to come in here and I am going to double click all of these items here, and then I'm going to align. Wow, and look at that. We're ready. It's already looking a little more like just pleasing to the eye. Just that little thing right there, and I'm almost even seeing like the little face that I wanted. Like, kind of looks like a little pirate. Dare I say, like you could see a little smirk on the bottom or something like that. I don't know. I can see the graphic, so I like that piece there. Let's drag this over here. I usually like things to be the same width as each other, so I'm going to try to expand this while holding Shift. Again, Shift is your friend. You never want things to expand. Actually, wait, I forgot to duplicate. All right, so always duplicate your work, people, so that you never lose what you're playing with or what you have. So I'm going to keep this. This is our one that's, grouped but not centered. This is our one that's grouped and centered. This is a duplicate of that grouped and centered one here. I'm going to take this min. I'm going to expand this out a little bit. Usually that locks, but we're not getting a lock there, so I'm going to mess with that another time. 10 minutes. 10 minute minus. And then let's see what happens when I... Interesting. And then let's see if I can... Oh, not what I wanted to do there. Not liking that. Not liking that at all. Okay, so let's try something else. Let's try spelling the word 10 out. So we got T-E-N. Oh, not in all lowercase. I want all caps. 10. All right, so let's do 10 that way. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to write min. And then, what's funny? Are these? Okay, they're close to the same width. So if I expand this and I expand this, put these side to side. I want to make sure that my space here is about the same as that space there. 10 min. And then let's drag this down here. Okay. I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at this, especially when you take into consideration what everything else is looking like. So let's bring this over here. Bring this over here. Okay. So we have copy and steal. We have a live studio here. Oh, didn't want to do that. Gonna expand that. So what I did here was I pressed the letter K, and this allows me to scale things rather than making them big. As you see before, when I tried to make this big, the Alive Studios did the same. That's just because I was scaling the size of the frame rather than scaling the whole size of the element itself. And you can tell when you're in that mode up here. So you have the difference between scale and move. And these are your key commands, K and V. I'll probably do a video on key commands soon because I think key commands are crucial to learning any piece of software. But yeah, that will come another day. Let's go back into here. Bring my camera back up. This is what we were trying to achieve. And now I am going to go to my screen share. Got this 10 minutes plus or minus. I don't know. I see it. You get me? Like I see it there. There's something here, and like I can make this itself my logo mark for like the 10 minutes, plus or minus, more or less plus or minus. I don't know. I feel like there's something here. I feel like if I wanted to, let's see. Let's do 0. Boom. Got square here. Let's say this is 4,000 by 4,000. That's not what I wanted to do. So this is 4,000, 4,000. All right, let me bring this over here. All right, we're at 1 minute. I just wanted to see what these things look like when they adapted the color. Ooh, it makes it look kind of mean. Let's see. Okay, what this looks like here. Let me. I don't want to. Oh, I'm gonna want to absorb the color there. Let's put that in over here. I'm gonna group this, pop it up. So I don't know. I'm thinking I like it. I think I'm happy with it. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna play with this and continue to work with this. I think this is. I'm happy with it. I'm feasible. I think it's something I can play with and grow on. But yeah, we are at the end of our time, and let's see. So that was first episode of 10 minutes more or less. I definitely went over 10 minutes. Yeah, you can be expecting more of these throughout the year. Again, my goal is to share my wins, losses with everyone. Hey, my girl Marianne is here. Hey, Marianne, thank you for showing love. She sees a controller. I see it too. Are you talking about in the plus or minus? Um, hmm. For what product or service are you designing this logo? This logo is literally going to be for this show. So I'm designing a logo for this show that you're watching now, 10 minutes more or less. So yeah, I was just trying to brand what you're seeing here because I'm going to be doing the How to Copy and Steal podcast. But yeah, I am getting some evil eyes over here. I promised someone I would take them to a doctor's appointment. And with all that said, thank you everyone for joining me on this first episode. Had some fun learning as we go. I will see you all in the next one. My name is Chris. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. Peace. Don't even have an outro for this yet. Those are all things we're going to be making as we do this. Bye, everybody.